everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of This Woman Can. I am your host, as always, Janice Sutherland, career strategist for women of colour over 40. Now, my guest this week, I'm really excited about my guest this week because we found each other via various means. And it was like all the lines were aligning, the stars were aligning for us to have this conversation. And my guest is Kim P. Baltimore, CEO and founder of Seasoned on Purpose, a step-by-step cooking instruction program that you will find on YouTube or a channel. Her tagline, ECC 3VS1, is her play on words from Bible scripture from Ecclesiastes, which moved her so much that she renamed her cooking channel to reflect the opportunity given to her, not only to cook, but to provide step-by-step instruction, sharing her love for cooking and her love for people. Now, she recorded her first video in May 2020, so she's been doing videos a little longer than me, but she's still very new to the game. Yes. And she has really gone on from strength to strength. So, Kim, welcome to This Woman Can.
Thank you, Janice. You are so right. We met by various means. It's so funny. I saw you on YouTube and I said, oh, I love this woman. So I subscribed to her and I started to listen to you and it was really great. And then all of a sudden, one of my former colleagues that I used to work with, who we're still friends with, obviously, she told me that you and she just had an interview. And I said,
yes, with Kathy.
I know her. Kathy.
Yes.
Yeah. I know her. And so here we are.
Yeah. And then she recommended you. And I said, but I've already reached out to her. Yes. So yes, it was bound to happen. Yeah. So Kim, I am so curious. Seasoned on Purpose. And we're going to get into a lot of things here. Yeah. So Seasoned on Purpose, you didn't wake up one morning thinking, I'm going to make my career doing a program on YouTube.
Oh my God.
Tell the audience about your journey and how you got to where you are today.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for asking me that. Well, I received my master's degree at Eastern University back at 2015. And then so many years later, I received a job at Eastern University and as executive secretary to one of the leading leaders there, which led me to become a director of operations there, first director of programs, then director of operations, and then I got a job at Missio Seminary, right, director of operations. So it led from my background is in the collegiate world. All the way back, for many years, over 20 years, in various administrative support to administrative leadership positions.
Right.
In the collegiate world, from Johns Hopkins University, from University of Pennsylvania, where I got my undergraduate degree in English, to my employment at University of Pennsylvania, to my husband and I moved to Maryland. So I worked at Johns Hopkins University for a few years and then came back to Pennsylvania, which is when I had the opportunity to get a job at Eastern University. So I've been in the collegiate field for, oh my gosh, close to 25, 30 years. Yeah, easily.
So that's a real about turn. So what prompted this reinvention or your reinvention?
Sure.
Into YouTube star.
Yeah, exactly. I know, right? My mom and dad have been caterers for over 35, 40 years.
It's in the blood.
Yeah, it's in the blood. It's in the blood. But, Janice, when I was living with my parents and we were caterers full-time, full-blown, I don't want to do anything about cooking.
Isn't that the way?
Oh my gosh, it was too much. I was the dishwasher. I was the cleaner-upper. Yeah. I was the one that cut the potatoes. And after that, okay, I'm done. Let me go about my business. And when we catered out, and my parents did cater out, I went and I helped cater and everything, but it really wasn't my thing. So I went my separate way in the collegiate world and helped out when I could once I moved out and everything. It wasn't until I moved on my own and I started to cook for myself. And then I said, let me try this, let me try that. And then I married, and then I had to cook for two of us. And so I really, once I got married, and I've been married now for 12 years in July, and that's another story in itself, marrying late. So once we married, I really had to learn how to cook, and I really started to enjoy cooking at that point.
Right, yeah.
And that was it. I was just enjoying cooking, doing, nothing fancy, just cooking. When I was at Missio Seminary as the director of operations, it was beginning to dawn on me that I was not in the right place.
Right.
And the community is a lovely community of people. I can't say anything negative about it at all. However, I knew that it wasn't even long. It wasn't even a full year that I worked there.
Yeah. And
I realized that this is not where I need to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that you say that, because so many of us, and I find there's so many women that have been in careers or roles where they really literally tough it out.
Yes.
Their spidey senses are tingling. They can feel something's not right.
Yes.
But they really tough it out. So Kim, what were the signs for you? And what were the signs for you that said, look, something just doesn't sit right with me? What were those signs?
Thank you for asking that. I was in leadership. I was on the cabinet, as they call it. And I think the signs for me, Janice, was the assignment that I was hired for turned out to be different than what I was doing.
Right. Yeah.
And the pressure that I was receiving in doing something out of my wheelhouse started to affect my psyche, started to affect my personality, started to affect my judgment, it just wasn't a good fit.
Yeah.
And I realized that.
Yeah.
And it was at that point that I decided to talk with my husband. I let him know that it's not a good fit any longer. Yeah. And I really would like to resign.
Yeah.
And, after a year, not even a full year, and him and I would talk about it all the time. And he knew the work that I was putting into my position.
Yeah.
And the late hours I was putting into my position. And he understood where I was.
Yeah.
And his response to me was, okay, the Lord will provide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
And so I resigned. And Janice, I had no idea what I was going to do.
I was about to say to you, so when you were doing that resignation process, because I've been through a similar process myself.
Okay.
So what were the fears, concerns, if any, that were maybe making you hold back? Because sometimes we know very quickly that this isn't right.
Yes.
But we're going through this whole process in our head or whatever that's telling us, are we right? And there's some concerns and the little voices in our head and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So can you share what some of those concerns or fears were about you making a leap at this stage, or just?
Oh my gosh, my age, number one. I mean, I'm definitely over 40. My birthday is in July. I'll be 64 in July. So, it's not easy. Yeah, 64. Wow. It's not easy to look for another position.
I was just laughing then, because we do get to that point where we think, how old? Are you old? No. That doesn't compute. So sorry. So
Exactly. Wait a minute. Wow.
Sorry, you were saying, so the concerns and the age.
Yes, yes. The age, my my desire to do what I was doing. I knew that once I resigned, Janice, I had no desire to do what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I really, that was daunting. Like, and then if I was going to look for another position, quite frankly, after not even a year's employment, was I going to get a good reference?
Right.
You know, it was challenging because, let's face it, you don't leave a job after even 9 months of employment, and you barely, came out of what do you call it?
Probation.
Thank you. Yeah, you're barely there.
Yeah.
So I've never done that before in my life. Never. So, but I knew I had to weigh the pros, I had to weigh the cons.
Yeah.
I had to weigh. Now, it's not for everyone to do that.
Yeah.
Because I recognized that some people, women, especially Black women, can't just do that.
Yeah.
There are responsibilities and things like that. I also wanted to kind of stick it out because I was the only Black woman in leadership.
Yeah.
And that was one of the areas that I talked about quite frequently.
Yeah.
Was the racial disparity.
Yeah.
And that's not just it's everywhere.
Yeah.
We kind of find ourselves as Black women.
Yeah.
The standout.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And it sounds to me, what I'm hearing is that you felt like that there was almost an obligation for you to stick it out being the only.
My goodness, yes.
So
that's pressure.
Yeah.
That's pressure. You're in leadership. You're one of the leaders. You're Black. You're a woman.
Yeah.
And you feel as though, and I felt that I had to really stick it out.
Yeah.
In order for other Black women to say, yeah, I can do this. Yeah.
And you don't, and then also in the back of your head, you don't want them saying, well, look, see, we told you should never have hired her because she did whatever, there's all, and it's not being said. It's not being verbalized.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not being verbalized, but
yes, ma'am.
We feel it.
We feel it.
We feel it.
Yes. I'll say this, and I won't even mention names, but I even had someone speak to me in a way that this person, white male, never would have spoken to had it been someone else.
Yeah.
Never. Had it been his peer, white male, and we were in the same leadership. And, it's, you have to be able to handle yourself professionally as a Black woman at all times.
Yeah.
And that went through my head as well.
Yeah.
So, but we later had a conversation.
Yeah.
And I expressed myself in that manner, that had I been someone else,
you'd never done it. Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly. Yeah. And so, Janice, that was hard for me to say, okay, this is it, because I felt as though that I was letting a lot of our women down.
Yeah. Taking that burden.
Yeah, it was a burden.
Yeah.
It was a burden. Yeah. Now, let me say this, that once I resigned, that burden was no longer there.
Yes. You know, I hear you. I hear you.
You talk about wings, girl. Woo, woo.
No, I definitely hear you. And I felt it. I know. There's something very liberating about that.
Oh my gosh. I was so liberated. Yeah. But I still didn't know what I was going to do. I had no idea.
So what was that journey then? So how did you, I work with women all the time, you know, like they say, I know I'm stuck here. It's not right for me. It's not right for me, but I'm stuck as to what else to do.
Yes.
So I work with them all the time. So I recognize this, but what was your journey? How did you get to Seasoned on Purpose?
Yes.
How did you say, I'm going to do this YouTube thing?
Yes. Let me tell you. And it actually was a blessing from one of my former colleagues.
Right.
I was cooking a dish. Yeah. And every now and then, I said, oh, this dish looks good. I took a picture of it. That's all I was doing. I just took a picture of it.
Yeah.
No idea what I was going to do with it. But I said, oh, this looks good. And so I took a picture cooking one day, and then I'm not, you know, at this transition period before the YouTube thing, my mind wasn't really on working, looking for a job.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that I didn't have to do that. I'm thankful that I was not forced to go into a new position. Yeah. That, like I said before, not everyone can do that, and I recognize that. So I was just in my zone of doing, just kind of like zoning out, just relaxing, clearing the clutter, emptying the clutter of my mind of where I was. And that took a minute, quite frankly.
Right.
So one day I was cooking. This is how it happened. One day I was cooking. It was like a vegetable soup with, and I just dumped stuff in it, you know, all kinds of stuff, carrots, and whatever it was. I said, oh, this looks good. And I took a picture of it, and I just sent it to my colleague, my former colleague at where I was working at Missio. And his name is Charles. I don't mind saying that. He was a good friend, still a good friend. And he said, oh, this looks good. You should put this on YouTube. I said, really? He said, yeah. So that put the bug in me.
Right.
And then I said, I don't know about that. YouTube. I mean, what did I know about YouTube at this age of not really technologically savvy?
Right.
Not, I mean, I knew I wasn't afraid of computers, obviously. Yeah. Working in the collegiate world for all those years, not afraid of it. But yeah, I said, okay, let me try this. Eventually, it took a minute because I think he said that in May, right? And my first one wasn't. I think my first one was August. It was May, so he may have done it early. I forget the exact timing.
Yeah,
but it was a couple months.
Right.
And so I said, okay, I'm going to try it. So I knew what I was going to fix. I made spaghetti sauce, pasta sauce from scratch. And it was from I didn't have all the lightings. I have right now. You know, I started to do it, and I put my phone, I hung my phone right on the edge of my microwave, and it looked down on my stove. Yeah. And you didn't see my face, and I was just cooking.
Excellent.
And talking and explaining what I was doing.
And you know what I love about that? What I love about that is that you didn't wait for everything to be perfect. Because too many times we stop in our careers because we haven't got the right thing. You know, you didn't have the right tripod, you didn't have the right lights, you didn't have the right camera, and you're like, hang it. You know, what does perfect look like? We can build to perfect.
That's right.
Let's start.
That's right.
And the starting is the key thing, because we can make excuses for ourselves to make sure everything's perfect, but in the meantime, somebody else is going past us doing what.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that what I wanted to do?
That's right. Come on.
Yeah. So I love the fact that you didn't wait for things to be perfect. Yeah. And I bet you nobody could tell you had your phone dangling or whatever it was. Nobody knows what's going on behind the scenes. That's our secret.
That's our secret. That's right. And guess what? I still use it today.
Excellent.
I still use that method today when I need to.
Fabulous.
Without the tripod and all that stuff.
So Kim, what do you think's unique about pivoting careers at this stage of life in mid-career? What are the challenges or opportunities?
Yeah, the challenge is actually getting out there and doing it.
Right.
The challenge is just jumping off that boat.
Yeah.
Into the deep. That's the challenge, because you don't know what's in the water.
Yeah.
You know, that's the challenge. The opportunity is that you get the opportunity to do that. You get that opportunity to say, you know what, I'm going to jump off here. I'm not sure what's in it.
Yeah.
Me as a believer in Jesus Christ, that faith tells me that once I jump in the water, there is going to be a lifeboat there.
Right.
I don't know how big it's going to be. I don't know how small it's going to be. I don't know if it's just going to be a little dinghy, but I'm going to jump in here, and I know that walking by faith, it's going to be okay. I can't see around the corner. Yeah. But I know that I'm going to be okay.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. So when you were starting out on this, Kim, is there anything you wished you had known before you had done it?
You know, I thought about that, and I really wanted to have a good answer for a question like that. And I don't know if I would have. Right. I think the journey is the unknown.
Yeah.
Right? I think the journey is struggling.
Yeah.
The failures that you make along the way helps you to climb out of where you are.
Right.
Because if you didn't struggle, then where's the fight?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So I don't know if I would have changed anything and I'm thinking of startups.
Yeah.
Right. Even with a business.
Yeah.
Startups, you're knocking on everybody's door. You're saying, hey, I'm here. Hey, will you try this? It's like you're knocking on, and that's what I did. I knocked on everybody's door just to say I'm on YouTube, right? And after a while, they say, hey, okay, thank you. It's like, okay, I have to do a new strategy. They're not listening to me anymore. You know.
Yeah.
And so, but I didn't stop. I had to pivot.
Yeah.
I had to think of another way to do what I do, because at that time I said, okay, I'm really liking this.
Yeah.
And so what was that pivot? I found I needed something to help me along the way. I didn't realize that I needed it.
Yes.
But as I was doing my thing online, I found this program, and that really catapulted me to the next level. So if one is first starting out, if one is making a transition, let me back up and answer that question for you.
Okay.
It would be wonderful if you, third person you, me, had a mentor.
Right.
To show you, okay, Kim, I did that. Don't do that. I did not have a mentor.
Right.
So I guess, and I think the mentor is for me at that point, and even now, the mentor for me would be someone who was just 1% better than I am.
Right.
I don't need a millionaire, a billionaire, to tell me, because at that point, that person doesn't remember necessarily the struggle.
Yeah. And I love when you talked about facing those fears. So, and you've already kind of touched on failure. So talking to another woman now who's listening to us here, and they're saying, wow, I wish I was as brave as she was
Mm.
to do something different.
Mm.
What would you say to them to overcome their fears, to help them overcome their fears?
Mm-hmm. I would tell her to recognize the power in her.
Mm.
I would tell her to recognize that she has come this far, being who she is, being successful in whatever she's doing. Right? And to really dig into where that is and recognize that you have everything you need within you to move forward. You don't have to grab from this way, grab from that place. Everything you need is within your strength.
Right.
And to dig in and say, you know what? Yeah, I can do this.
Love that.
Just dive on in here.
And you don't need to wait till you're perfect.
Oh, I'm not perfect. I'm still not. I mean, there is no such thing as perfection. Once you have reached perfection, you go on to glory, because there's no need for you to be down here.
Love it. Oh, I love that. I love this. So Kim, what do you think would have been your regrets if you hadn't gone for it?
Oh yeah, I've learned so much about myself.
Right.
I have that inner, that more inner strength that I had than before. I've learned that I am a businesswoman. And I did not realize that I was a businesswoman. Right. I learned that I can start a business.
Right.
I learned that I can I know that I am a leader in my own right. However, I now recognize that I can actually hire my own staff, and that I can turn this one woman adventure and multiply myself into a very large company with Seasoned on Purpose.
Excellent.
Excellent. I never knew that before. I mean, inside, I've always thought about doing this. I always dreamt, Janice, I always dreamt about, I had this dream about owning a bookstore. I had this dream about owning an inn. I had, so many, and then it just sloughed off and really forgot about it, because reality got in the way.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And sis, I'm going back again, right?
Okay. Rewind.
Yeah. I'm going back again into what would I have told my younger self?
Yeah.
Did you ask me that? Yeah. Or the mistakes that I could.
Yeah, I haven't answered but it's all good.
Yeah. Whatever that dream is, go for it, man. Yeah. I didn't.
Yeah. Excellent.
20 years later, 25 years later, I think about that. I mean, I had this picture in my mind of what this bookstore would be to the letter. I had this INN in my mind of what it would be to the letter. I wrote it down. It's, the word says, write the vision, make it plain. Right? I wrote it down. And then self-doubt.
Right. Yes.
Said, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Where are you getting the money from? Who are you going to, you need a building. You need. I mean, it was like voices. Oh my gosh, voices saying, "Oh no, you live with your." This time I was living with my parents. You live with your parents. You're living in the back room of your parents' house with this little bed and what? Where? Because and here's the other thing. I lived with my parents until I was 40s.
Okay.
Yeah. 40s. And I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. we had still do. I mean, I thank God for that relationship, because now, and we're back here on the east side where my mom and dad are, living in Philly. And so I'm very, very close to them. So I'm able to really be a blessing to them while I'm not working.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So that's another story. So here we go back at this story. I would have told my younger self, go for it.
Yeah.
Start talking to people.
Yeah.
Let people know what, start look into people who have this already.
Yeah.
How did you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then go from there. If this is really something that you want to do, go just dive right in.
Fabulous.
And I didn't. And years later here, Seasoned on Purpose was not a plan.
Yeah.
Not a plan. It wasn't even a thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what helped me was realizing that, Kim, you tried this, you thought about that,
Yeah.
and you went the safe route. Working in the collegiate field was safe for me.
Yeah.
It was safe. Yeah. I loved it, but it was safe.
Yeah.
It was safe.
Yeah. And you're right, because I always tell you, we have to be prepared to take some risk.
Yes.
And we're not saying just step in front of a bus and hope it doesn't hit you type of risk.
Yeah.
We're talking about having a calculated risk or a planned risk. You doing something different is always going to be a risk.
It's a risk.
But it's how you approach it that will make it a success or otherwise.
My gosh,
and it's having that plan. So if that's a great piece of advice.
And the risk for I'm sorry.
Yeah, Karen's cool.
And the risk for me now even is I'm having an interview with you. I've had, successes here, but the risk is, YouTube is based on viewers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not where I was, but I'm certainly not where I want to be.
Yeah.
And so the risk is failure.
Yeah.
That's the risk.
Yeah.
And I still, that's what it is now still. I mean, the risk is not completing the job. The risk is stopping.
Yeah.
And so that's always, yeah.
Excellent.
But then I think about the future.
Yes. Yeah.
Of Seasoned on Purpose.
Yeah. And you can visualize
I
it.
see it and I'm in it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm in it.
Excellent. Yes. Excellent. So Kim, describe one of your biggest challenges so far in this whole transition, and the lessons you learned, and maybe how it contributes to your greater success.
Yeah, thank you. One of my biggest challenges is deciding what to cook next.
That doesn't sound like a big challenge, but carry on.
And the other big challenge, I mean, really, because it sounds funny, but you really want to be able to cook what people are looking for.
Right.
It's easy to fix a meal for my husband and I, and put it on camera. That's what I used to do.
Right.
But the challenge now is, what are people looking for that I can cook and cook well, so that and make it interesting that they would even stick around after the first 4 seconds.
Yeah, it's true.
Because it's like that.
Having attention. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's like that. That's the challenge. Yeah. And that's it. That's a weekly, daily challenge.
Right.
And because then once you upload it, it's like, okay, who's looking?
Oh,
you know what I mean? And so I heard someone say on YouTube, who was very successful, and I heard someone say, don't look at the views, don't look at, it's like when you're trying to lose weight. You don't weigh yourself every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You just do you just do the job.
Yeah.
You just get in there and do it. So that's a challenge. Another challenge is making my mind work in a way that I can understand this technological world. You know, when I talk to my daughter, my niece daughter, who is like a daughter to me and not my biological daughter, but when I talk to her, when I talk to another a former classmate of mine when we went to Eastern together, when I talk with her, they're both around the same age,
right?
Like 20 years younger than me, but they're mature. They say, Kim, do this. Kim, you think about doing this? Kim. I mean, Janice, I mean, if it's one thing, it's 20.
Yeah.
And so the challenge for me is to understand the one. That's the challenge for me, is being able to hear and do and execute. I mean, I feel like I am young at heart. Yeah. But at the end of the day, when I'm doing my work and I have 10,000 things to do, and that's another thing, Janice, just because I'm doing this doesn't mean that I don't have other responsibilities. Yeah. And as women and as Black women, you know, it's not just this one thing that we're doing. Yeah. And that's the other challenge. Very true. Right? It's the challenge of keeping my mind active so that I can understand and grow and move forward. Because right now it's just me. My husband, my husband, he does help me. But in terms of making the vision come alive, right? There's work that you have to do in that. Well, at the same time, I'm a wife. Yeah. I'm a daughter. Yeah. You know, I'm a family member. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I have a home. I have responsibilities. I have, I mean, the list goes on, as we all do. Yeah. And the challenge is to even be successful in that as a Black woman. Yeah. Yeah. Even though I don't have the establishment necessarily, you know, around me, oh, you best believe that there is an establishment that I'm, you know, because I'm going to have to work with a group of people eventually if I want this to grow. And so being that Black woman in charge of a growing company, that's a challenge, you know. So the challenge is time management. That's juggling everything. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You can, of all the challenges that I just said, you can delete that and say, Kim, this is my challenge, Janice. It's time management because and we all have to juggle. Yeah. And we all have 24 hours like everyone else. But you know, you have to, I mean, it's time management and making sure that you're able to do what you can do successfully in the time that you're doing it and get it done quickly so that you can move on, but also adding in that perfectionist part of it, that you want it to be just perfect when nothing is perfect. Yeah. Right. But you want it to be to the point that it's great and that you can move on from it, and then go to the next thing. Excellent. And feel comfortable in saying, okay, I did this aspect of it. Now I can move on, and this is no longer in my head. Understood. Got it. So we're coming down to our last few questions, Kim. Oh my gosh, already? Oh my gosh. Zipped by. So if you had to start over from scratch, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently? Now that could be your entire career. It could just be for Seasoned on Purpose. I'll let you choose. Wow. Yeah, I'm going to say Seasoned on Purpose. Okay. Because I don't want to negate what I did. Yeah. Because had I not done that, I would not have met the people that I met along the way. Yes. Understood. And so, so I let that go. Yeah. What would I have done differently with Seasoned on Purpose? I think I'll go back to the mentorship part. Okay. I think I would have sought out. Go. I hear you.
I was going to say, so let me ask you that question then.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you could have any mentor, who would it be? Who would it be and why?
I'm not going to give you a who, because
Okay.
I don't have that person in my mind.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to give you the need.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
I'll work with that.
Yeah. So I want someone who is 1% better than myself.
Yeah.
Who is confident in what she's doing.
Yeah.
Preferably a Black woman.
Right.
Who is confident and does things well, not afraid of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And who is technologically savvy and not and willing to share how she does what she does.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And challenges me.
Yeah.
In a way that catapults me to the next level.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So we've recorded that, and we're going to put that out there.
Okay.
And we're going to see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens.
We're going to see what happens. Yes.
We're going to see what happens.
Yeah. Yay.
So typically then, so this comes a couple of fun questions.
Yeah.
Where would we find you typically on a Saturday morning at 10 a.m.?
Yes. It varies.
Okay.
I might be sleeping late because I worked all Friday night on the channel, and I'm exhausted. Okay.
Right.
Typically, most times I'm fixing a nice, fun breakfast for my husband and I.
Okay.
On Saturday, we typically eat waffles.
Right.
And so I make waffles for us on Saturday. So around 10 o'clock, I'm getting that ready. By 11 o'clock, we're eating.
Nice. So a little brunch.
Yes.
Little
exactly.
brunch.
Exactly.
And the last question, interview question, I say, is that you touched on success.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to ask the question, what does success feel like?
What does it feel like? Exhaling. Yeah. Success feels like exhaling. It feels like you have it's a sense of relaxation. I mean, exhale. I mean, you're I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I could say, money and but that's not a feeling.
Yeah, no, that's I'm deliberate about the feeling.
No. The feel is you can exhale.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a feeling, because when you exhale, you are completely relaxed. And you have that sense of satisfaction, that sense of, okay, this is good.
Nice.
And that enables you to do other things.
Excellent. So that was my last official question.
Okay.
But if people want to know more about Seasoned on Purpose, how can they connect with you, and where can they find you? How can they find you?
Yes, absolutely. Please find me. I have a Facebook. It's Seasoned on Purpose. I have a Facebook group, Seasoned on Purpose. I am on the YouTube Seasoned on Purpose. Just Google Seasoned on Purpose. That should come right up.
Yeah.
You can email me at SOP, Seasoned on Purpose, SOP. My husband gave me that name, SOP, Stop It Right Up. Now that's the little
with a good hunk of bread. I hear you.
That's right. So you can find me there. You can email me at SOP@seasonedonpurpose.com. I have a web address, seasonedonpurpose.com. I have definitely find me on my Twitter account.
Excellent.
No, not necessarily Twitter, but my
Instagram.
Yeah, IG. Yep. See that technological challenge I have, and that is different. That is, Seasoned on Purpose. Just look at Seasoned on
We'll
Purpose.
look for Seasoned on Purpose, but I will put all the links in the show notes.
Yes.
Now, I just want to double back one quick question.
Yes.
You talked about a Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
What does the group do?
Yes. So my Facebook group, we talk about food.
Okay.
I always upload my most recent video.
Right.
And I put in different recipes from other people. And I also wish people happy birthdays when it's their birthdays. Okay. And I also want to lift up other people who have other businesses, other ventures. And I always encourage them, what are we doing? So that I could, like, if I see something on Facebook, or if I know that they're doing something, I'll put a link in there. Right. Let's all support so-and-so and so-and-so, like that. So I try to have everyone to engage with everyone else there. So yeah.
Fantastic. So thank you so much for that, Kim. It's been a great conversation, great having conversation with you. Thank you for that. That was me. That's it. It's a wrap. Thanks for your time today.
Janice, thank you. Oh my gosh, this was lovely. Thank you so much for inviting me. This was just a lovely conversation. I really appreciate that.
Excellent.
Yeah.